lot of companies are transitioning into online space if they haven't, or they're really revamping their online space. So I'm going to quickly go down a list of things to do. So the first thing is that you want to make sure that you're representing properly, like what you are doing. So it's an accurate representation of your business. You also want to make sure that the copyright on your website is yours to use and the pictures are yours to use as well. And they're not plagiarized or taken from somebody else. And if you are using a third party, that you own whatever work that they're doing for you as well. And it's not something that they retain ownership of. So you want to have that clarity right there from the get-go. Other things that you want to include are your terms and condition on your website, and you want to make them abundantly clear and accessible to your user as well. Also include your, just your terms of service, like what to expect, how to use your website, and what can they do and cannot do. What's your refund or exchange policy? What warranties are you giving or you're not giving? So those are some things to include in the terms and conditions. The second thing is a privacy policy. Privacy policies are required by your state. And so you just look at your state and the requirements, but when you're on the web, it kind of goes all over the world. And so you want to make sure that you're in compliance with some of the most stringent privacy policies out there, whether it's EU's GDPR or whether it's California's privacy policy also, or Canada, and then some other ones are popping up as well. And the third thing you want to have also is disclosures and disclaimers. So it's 3 and 4, disclosures and disclaimers. So disclosures are, what are you? Are you licensed to do something? And if you have a license, then you can put that there. If you don't have a license, you should put that there as a disclaimer and a disclosure. And also any warranties that you are warranting or not warranting. So you need to put that in there as well. So that's kind of part of your terms and conditions also, because you're giving them notice and letting them be aware of what they're getting themselves into. And then also you want to include the fact that they're even getting on your website, that they're saying okay to these terms and conditions. So you want them to have an affirmative check mark at that point. And so disclosures, disclaimers, if you're not a doctor or some health provider, but you are giving health advice, you want to put that in there. You don't want to show or guarantee any type of results because of what you may or may not be saying. Other things you want to include is the IP ownership, which is the intellectual property ownership. Who owns what you're showing on the website, right? Who owns the pictures? Who owns the information or the downloads? And you want to make sure that's abundantly clear that you own it, unless you are giving away and assigning that ownership to your user. And then if you want, and you might, it's a good practice is to give attribution. Attribution is that if you do have things on your website that are taken from other companies or businesses or people or individuals, whatever, get attribution in there, meaning you're giving them recognition on your website. But prior to attribution, get permission as well. And written permission is always the best thing to do because it is the only way to assign ownership or license to use something.